book can take you anywhere. Turn the pages and you'll be there. Come on, join us, you'll see. We're reading with Carylee.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Read with Carylee show. I am your host, Carylee, and we have another amazing author. Well, he's actually been here before. So we would like to give a warm welcome again to Mr. BK Fulton. And in this episode, he is reading Little BK, The Adventures of Little BK. And this book is The Cow. Now, this is the sixth in the series of 7 that he has written that is basically autobiographical and adventures that he had when he was growing up and giving life lessons to pass on to our children today. So without further ado, it's time to tell the story.
So we're going to start with page 1 this time for book 6, The Cow. Meet Mr. Business. BK is in the 3rd grade. His first name is Brian, and his middle name is Keith. He likes Keith better. BK is both names together, and that feels just right. His friends call him BK. Little BK had a great day at school. He loved his new school, and the kids in the neighborhood had become more and more friendly. Even Grimes, the kid who gave him so much trouble on his first day, became good friends with BK. BK and Grimes played basketball and picked carrots together after school in the garden behind BK's house. They also grew tomatoes, but the carrots were their favorite. The guys even stopped teasing BK about riding his bike with Lois, the pretty girl down the street. Lois was smart and nice, and BK liked her smile. One day after school, BK went to visit his grandparents. He loved visiting them because his grandma was a great cook, and she always made him laugh. Today, BK was excited to tell her what he was learning in school. When BK and his mom got to the house, BK smelled a delicious aroma coming from the kitchen. BK was excited because he knew that smell meant his grandma was baking sweet potato jacks. "Bye, Mom," said BK as she dropped him off, and he went inside the house. BK loved Grandma's sweet potato jacks. They were like an apple turnover and a sweet potato pie rolled into one. Plus, she served them with a cold glass of milk, which made them extra delicious. "Yum," said BK. His mouth began to water as Grandma took the steaming treats out of the oven. He couldn't wait to eat one. Grandma, guess what I learned in school today?" BK said excitedly. "What's that, baby?" Grandma wiped her hands on her apron and smiled at BK. "I learned that I am one of God's little lambs," said BK. He wanted to grab a sweet potato jack, but caught his grandma's eye and grinned. "All right then, that's true. Yes, you're one of God's little lambs. You're smart and kind and special. Always remember that." "Yes, ma'am," little BK said. Grandpa was in the dining room reading. "Come on in here, BK," Grandpa said, overhearing the conversation. Little BK peeked his head into the dining room. "If you're one of God's little lambs, what am I?" Grandpa asked. "Am I a lamb too?" Little BK looked his grandpa up and down. He thought about it for a minute and said, "No, Grandpa, I'm a lamb, but I think you're one of God's cows." BK laughed as he thought about his clever answer. He could hear Grandma in the kitchen chuckling too. Grandpa was not happy with BK's response. "What?" Grandpa exclaimed. "So you think I'm a cow?" Little BK shrugged his shoulders. Maybe a cow was not the best answer. "Do you need a timeout?" Grandpa said, frowning. BK looked at Grandpa and was nervous. Did he say the wrong thing? Then Grandma came to the kitchen door. She poked her head into the dining room and said to Grandpa, "Honey, leave that boy alone. You asked him and he told you all right." She looked Grandpa up and down. "You don't look like a lamb to me, so you could be one of God's cows." Little BK smiled. Grandma had saved him. Grandpa chuckled and shook his head as he sat back down to read. "Come on in the kitchen," Grandma said. They sat down at the table together. "That was a funny thing to say," Grandma said to BK. "And it is also very smart because God makes everyone different and loves us all the same. You are a lamb and Grandpa could be a cow. That makes sense to me," she said. "What do you think? Am I a cow too?" she asked. "No, Grandma," said BK. "I think you're an angel." Grandma smiled. "Well, then you can have 2 sweet potato jacks," said Grandma. "And don't forget to drink your milk." Little BK had a big smile on his face. He loved his grandma. The right words can make everything okay.
I'm loving the adventures of Little BK. I don't think I could call, my grandmother a cow and get away with it. But yes, the right words do make everything okay. And, with the last time you were on, we kind of touched on the topic of your friend Grimes and how, you've been able to, you went from possible enemies to friends. And do we see Grimes show up more in these adventures?
You will, yes. He was part of the neighborhood.
Okay.
And what I really tried to do in the books is convey how, one, it's okay to be who you are. I had funny clothes sometimes. I had these glasses. I had this funny looking hat. And it was okay. And it was okay to be who I was. My family loved me.
Yeah.
And so did my friends. And so you'll see Grimes and a few other people. I changed most of the names.
Okay. All right. Well, we do have a chance for our community award, and we wanted to award someone that has been doing good things in the community. And especially since this book is about community and about being yourself, we wanted to make sure that we had our community award this episode. So, Mr. Devin from Weems Elementary School, if you can come up, Devin.
All right.
And you can meet Mr. BK.
Hey, Devin, how are you, buddy? How you doing? How are you?
Well,
good to meet you.
Devin always helps his classmates with their classwork and does chores at home and volunteers and helps at his church as well. So we would love to thank you for all of your efforts at school and just face the audience so that we can see you. And we thank you, Devin, for all your work in the community. All right? Okay. Yes. And for your chance to win a signed copy of today's book, email us at readwithcarylee.com. And thank you, Mr. BK Fulton, for coming and joining us again. We will definitely be looking for all of the Mr. Business books. There are 7 books in this series, so make sure you check out our website to find out more about Mr. BK Fulton. And thank you for joining us. If you are ever in the Prince William County area, be sure to stop by the Girani Coffee House and come and sit with us and read with our authors. You can find your free tickets at readwithcarylee.com. And And as always, thank you for joining us. Remember, grab a book and read.
We're reading with Carylee. We're reading with Carylee. Reading with Carylee. Reading with Carylee. Reading with Carylee.
Thanks for watching another amazing episode of the Read with Carylee show. We have amazing authors coming by every week. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. You don't want to miss a thing.